From the PEP Radio Newsroom, these are the stories we are following at this hour. A federal grand jury indicted a Wisconsin judge Tuesday on charges she helped a man in the country illegally evade U.S. immigration authorities looking to arrest him as he appeared before her in a local domestic abuse case. Milwaukee County Circuit Judge Hannah Dugan's arrest and ensuing indictment has escalated a clash between President Donald Trump's administration and local authorities over the Republican sweeping immigration crackdown. Democrats have accused the Trump administration of trying to make a national example of Dugan to chill judicial opposition to the crackdown. Prosecutors charged Dugan in April via complaint with concealing an individual to prevent arrest and obstruction. In the federal criminal justice system, prosecutors can initiate charges against a defendant directly by filing a complaint or present evidence to a grand jury and let that body decide whether to issue charges. A grand jury still reviews charges brought by complaint to determine whether enough probable cause exists to continue the case as a check on prosecutorial power. If the grand jury determines that there is probable cause, it issues a written statement of the charges known as an indictment. And that's what happened in Dugan's case. Dugan faces up to 6 years in prison if she's convicted on both counts. Her team of defense attorneys responded to the indictment with a one-sentence statement saying that she maintains her innocence and looks forward to being vindicated in court. She was scheduled to enter a plea on Thursday. Kenneth Gates, a spokesman for the U.S. Attorney's Office in Milwaukee, declined to comment on the indictment Tuesday evening. The federal budget for the fiscal year starting on October 1st, 2025 includes several changes to SNAP benefits. Republicans in Congress are moving with rapid speed to advance President Donald Trump's big bill of tax breaks, spending cuts, and beefed up border security funding as leaders work to enact many of his campaign promises. House committees have been laboring for months to draft the legislation which Republicans have labeled the one big, beautiful bill, a nod to Trump himself. Speaker Mike Johnson is pushing to approve the package and send it to the Senate by Memorial Day. Democrats say they will fight what House Party Leader Hakeem Jeffries calls this extreme and toxic bill. House Republicans are looking to shift some of the cost of the Supplemental Nutrition and Assistance Program, known as SNAP, to the states. States would shoulder 5% of benefit costs under the bill beginning in fiscal year 2028. The share could also go higher for those states with high rates of overpayments and underpayments. The bill would also require states to pick up 75% of the administrative costs. Currently, states shoulder none of the benefit costs and half of the administration costs. Republicans argue that states have minimal incentive to control costs as a result of the current cost-sharing agreement, but the changes would give them the incentive to enhance efficiencies and improve outcomes for recipients. Republicans also are expanding work requirements for food aid recipients, which under current law applies to individuals without dependents aged 18 to 54. The bill expands the work requirement through age 64 and exempts only those caring for a dependent child under the age of 7. At the same time, the legislation would invest $60 billion in new money for agriculture programs, sending aid to farmers. So, in other words, we imposed tariffs on China, which crippled American farmers who, by and large, voted for Trump, and now we reward them with $60 billion in aid. For those of us who aren't farmers, this sure seems a lot like buying votes. Anyway, that's the news at this hour. The regime marches on. The Pennsylvania primary election is May 20th. Get to the polls and vote. It is too late to apply for an absentee or mail-in ballot. Please get to the polls between 7 a.m. and 8 p.m. and vote. Up next, we have the local weather forecast for the Meadville area here on PEP Radio.